So there's an overwhelming number of people who would be eligible. That's the first, I guess if we were going to break this into, sort of like a pie chart or something, there's a huge number of people who are below the poverty level in East Tennessee and in Knox County. Of those, only a certain percentage can contact us or know to contact us or are referred to us. Of the ones who do, I think we do a good job either directly representing them in the way you think of, lawyer at your side in court kind of thing, or referring them to a different resource if we're not the right fit, if it doesn't. So the classic legal aid eligibility is based on income, because the movement was designed to be, a service for low-income people. So under that majority federal funding, it's based on the number of people in your household and the amount of income that you bring into your household. And the federal government publishes something called the Federal Poverty Guideline. You sometimes hear it called the Federal Poverty Limit. And that's a number basically that's scaled to household size. You may have encountered this in other environments. If someone is above whatever that federal poverty limit is for their household size, then they would be ineligible under. So we like to get involved as early as possible, and probably any attorney you would interview would say the same thing. The worst thing is to come into a case after it's halfway concluded already, because you didn't have control over what happened to begin with. You're having to sort of react to other people's choices. In an ideal case, we would be contacted by a tenant even before they know they're being evicted, when they maybe have some reason to suspect that things are going sideways with their landlord, or that there's a problem that's presented itself that may turn into a legal problem. Oftentimes, though, more realistically, we get a call either after an eviction notice has been given to the tenant, or even worse, violence. The housing issue is precipitated by someone being thrown out of the residence or being abused in the residence, having to flee and seek shelter elsewhere. But the real problem there is not the housing. It's the facts that have caused them to be in the domestic violence situation. Oftentimes, I think the real benefit of having an attorney with you arises from the procedure that courts operate under. Oftentimes clients can be very effective storytellers. They can communicate their side of the story believably, and effectively. A tenant is usually facing their discrete problem, and that's it. We have been doing housing law in this county for decades, so we sometimes know with certain landlords, how they typically operate.